In this Tech Talk, I am discussing pizza processing with Bobby Martin, Global Product Systems Leader for AMF Bakery Systems. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello, Joanie. The pleasure is mine.
So there's a lot going on with pizza these days. Interestingly, this is a tried and true product that seems to continually reinvent itself. So I want to kick off this conversation by first just sort of talking about what is making the pizza category so exciting these days.
As you say, it's very exciting. The pizza business has exploded in the past 3, 4 decades, but more recently with the pandemic, there was a strong push in sales for people and consumers eating more and more pizzas.
Mhm.
And what makes the pizza industry very exciting is, if you think about it, there's so many different type of pizza, sizes, different shapes, and more with a lot of different flavors. So the pizza industry as a whole is super exciting for all these reasons.
Yeah. And you did mention there were a really strong sales during the pandemic. It is one category that actually fared really well during the pandemic. And then if we just look back at the past couple of years, the pizza market is still really strong. Euromonitor is forecasting 6% growth over last year, which actually saw $141 billion in global sales. So when you look at the strength of the market, how do you see that activity impacting pizza producers?
Well, pizza producers have let's say, the luck of having the sales growth, which is always a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But we hear pizza producers talking about their challenges, where you see a higher demand with a higher varieties. So a lot of, as I said, more flavor, which creates sometimes in the production some issues. Like if you add pesto to a pizza dough, you need to find the right balance in your ingredients to create one that is easily producible. There's higher costs in ingredients, a shortage in labor, as we all know, so it's everywhere in pizza as well. So it puts a lot of pressure on those producers when they have to choose between quality and price, because if you increase your price, will you sell as much or as many? And if you lower your quality, are you going to lose your consumers? And pressure is also a good moment to try to be innovative. And I think the pizza industry as a whole is very innovative.
Yeah, I would agree. And when you have high activity in sales and high customer demand with a highly customizable product, that does create challenges and opportunities for pizza producers. And I think that it really opens up opportunities for automation, which is a space where AMF Bakery Systems really shines. So I want to talk about how automation is sort of helping pizza manufacturers get through some of these challenges and helping them innovate.
Right. So AMF Bakery Systems has been involved in the pizza industry for more than 3 decades. We have a great name known in the bread and bun industry. For the most part, pizza industry was kind of pulling us in since the past 3 decades. So as the complexity of production raised, as the solutions that we were offering made sense for the industry. So just to put that into context, we can produce higher rates, which reduces the cost of the overall cost of the goods. So let's say a pizza dough balls, if we use our AMF Fusion and combine with our AMF Flex technology, dividing technologies with the high accuracy and dividing scale, we can get very high throughput for pizza producers that are producing only dough balls. That's one of the many examples where we have a play in the automation, where we can cut in labor in a way that people will still work, but the hard work of, let's say, pulling the pizza by hand or the dough by hand and manipulating by hand, it's all gone with automation. So that therefore you can produce more weight per batch, and then you can produce more throughput at the end.
Yeah. I can see where automation really helps in that regard with the dough balls, because In the past 3 or so years, I've talked to a lot of pizza producers who have really increased their customer base from those restaurants and food service that can't make those crusts in the back of house. They can't keep up with it, especially when sales were really increasing because of the mobility factor.
Yeah, and effectively, if there's a frozen ball process, so the dough ball is frozen, then you can produce or mass produce in a shorter period of time because your product is frozen, and then when you deliver, it's still a fresh dough piece after it's thawed. But the point I'm making here is that with the flexibility workers are asking for, and most people don't want to work on night shifts anymore, but having the capacity to produce more during the day or night shift or evening shift, I mean, is a way where automation makes sense for some producers.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to dive in a little bit deeper on how the AMF family of brands touches on a lot of different areas of pizza processing. You have a lot of expertise, whether it's with dough handling, pizza makeup and topping, proofing, baking, and cooling, or even in the packaging area. Can we talk about how the various AMF technologies are designed to really help in all of these aspects of pizza processing?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the beauty of having our family of brand is there are a solution in each brand that can be used in a very specific pizza making process. So we barely talked about dough ball process, but there's also the sheeting. Sheeting lines is where we have our AMF Trump expertise, and this is exactly where all the creativity can be expressed in so many ways. We talked about shapes, so having die cut shapes on the dough sheet. You can have different dough thickness, so the thin crust or thicker crust. But also from a productivity standpoint, AMF Trump has developed and innovated into many areas like toppings. We have our cheese applicator. It's a smart applicator, so basically it will calculate the amount of cheese you put on your pizza crust, and there's an artificial intelligence in the camera that measures, the exact quantity of cheese you want to put on your pizza, knowing that this is one of the most, if not the most expensive ingredient on the pizza. If you produce thousands of pizza a day, it makes a big difference at the end of the day if you can save on having just exactly the ingredients that you need on each pizza crust.
Yeah, I feel like with the rise in ingredient costs, pizza is going to be a specific product that is going to be where accuracy of the toppings is going to be critical because of those costs.
Exactly, and that's why we innovated in this range. I was talking about the topping for cheese, but it can also be used with ham, cubes of ham, or we also have developed what we call a power shot depositor for tomato sauce. It's maybe tomato sauces are not as expensive, but after you've processed all your tomato sauce with all the herbs and all the ingredients you want to put in your tomato sauce, I mean, it's critical that you use it. After all,
Yeah,
spending all this effort to put it into a container, you really want to put it on the pizza crust, not on the floor.
right.
So that's why we developed it, and it can do also very high rate. So we have a combination of high rate capacity and high rate in the pizza crust making, but also in the tomato sauce application.
When we're looking at a product with such high activity, there's a lot going on and a lot of pizzas being put out in the market. Sustainability is going to be a factor. So can you talk about maybe on the baking side with ovens, what are some of the critical components of AMF baking technology?
Absolutely. Sustainability is key in our future. So we have a patent on the hydrogen burners. So we can develop now oven baking pizza for using the hydrogen as an agent, but also knowing that hydrogen is not really readily available for everybody. We developed solutions for existing ovens, and we called it sustainable oven services. So we go in, we plug our devices on the ovens, and we read performances. And with artificial intelligence and also somebody within the customer care group, we are looking into how bakers use their oven. There are notifications sent to bakers, so they are alert about what's going wrong in the process. So that's one way of working with the sustainability and sustainable solutions.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, Bobby. So right around the corner is the International Pizza Expo, and AMF Bakery Systems will be there at booth 947. Can you tell me just really quickly what attendees can expect to experience firsthand from AMF's pizza technology?
Well, at first then you're going to meet with people. So we will have AMF representative on site just to create contact and also have conversation about the industry as a whole. So we're going to have a booth with screens that we can show and display our solutions for people that are interested, let's say in the target applicator.
Great. And then if someone is not attending the show, how can they get in touch to learn more about what AMF can offer as far as pizza processing?
Well, in our website, of course, the amfbakery.com, there's if you go on product, there's a place specific for pizza, but also you can write an email at sales at amfbakery.com, and a representative will contact you soon.
Great. Bobby, thanks so much for taking time to talk to me. This was really interesting. And now I'm hungry for pizza.
I am too. Let's have lunch. Thank you, Joanie.